Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of I Don't Believe in Side Quests. I'm Lauren,
I'm Gabe.
and we are super excited to be back here chit-chatting about what we've been up to and really talking about a whole bunch of games that are coming out for 2023. I'm exhausted because I was over in Montana all weekend for my best friend's bachelorette. So we were eating good and drinking a lot, and we were in the hot springs down there, which is really, really nice and soothing, and it was a really good time. But I got back at like 7 p.m. last night, and I was just a zombie today.
Yeah, I was wondering if we were gonna record today because I know you had the bachelorette. I know you were like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel. And I was like, okay.
Barely alive,
Yeah,
but I am alive, and that's what's important because
survive.
Montana got hit with a big storm this weekend. Like when we were flying in, there was like a snow advisory, and Bozeman got more snow than they've gotten in a long time, like just really, really quickly. So it wasn't like the
Right.
most snow they've ever had, but it was the most that they got quickly because they got like
Just
2 feet on
yeah,
Friday. And so some of the girls couldn't make it because of the snow. Some of the girls couldn't make it because they were sick. So, anyway, so it was a smaller crowd than we were anticipating, but it was really, really fun because one of our other college roommates flew over with me. And so the three of us hadn't been
oh,
together since her wedding. And now this is the third of us getting married. So it was really cute and just good to spend a lot of time with her and a lot of time
yeah,
together as the three of us that we just haven't had in a really long time.
yeah.
So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
yeah, I know you had fun and I was like, well, do I say it? Do I not say it? I've just been in a depressive episode, but that's
Mm.
okay. It'll be what it'll be. But yeah, it is what it is. I don't. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I've changed my mind.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay.
It is what it is. But it does feel good that we've been like having this regularity that we have been trying to record every
Mm-hmm.
week, even if it's maybe not always on the day we're supposed to do it. It has, it has been happening.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I don't know how this is gonna go. And like I was telling you before, the first time we did this, I tried to list as many games as possible because there's so many games that come out in a year. And I don't know if this is true, but when I was doing all of this, it looked like there was way more games this year than there was last year, and I was like, oh, okay. So I tried to choose the top games or maybe more well known games, which I felt really bad about because then I was like, I don't want anyone to feel left out, but I don't know. We'll see. I think a lot of them I don't want to say they're more my interest, but I think maybe I
Mm.
have a more varied taste than you. I think maybe sometimes I
Oh,
play a wider
agreed.
range.
Fully
So,
agreed.
well, we'll see. But I think there's quite a few in here that you'll be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And obviously it is March going April, so we did miss 3 months of games. So I kind of tried to just choose what I've heard about, what I remember looking forward to in the highlights. Some of these I've played, some of these I haven't. So Forspoken was the first one. This one came out in January. And we ironically talked about, well, maybe not ironically, but we talked about this in our first episode because this was supposed to come out last year. Obviously it didn't. It got pushed back. I don't know or really remember why. It follows a New Yorker transported to the beautiful and cruel land of Athia. Um, Unfortunately, as promising as it looked, it did when I was looking kind of at it, seemed like it got mixed
Mm.
reviews and people saying that maybe it wasn't worth how much they were asking for it. I mean, it was, what is it? Yeah,
What
it
were
was like
people saying?
$70 base price. I mean, we can go and look at the Steam reviews.
I
This was
love
one
a
of the
good
first
Steam
things I ever
review.
looked at that. Illuminous Productions made a game so bad their entire studio got dissolved. Oh, that's harsh.
Yikes.
Mediocre game, premium price, mediocre graphics, mediocre story, mediocre gameplay, mediocre animations. I think the biggest thing I just remember reading about was like it wasn't worth what they were asking for it. And I
Mm.
remember I think it had a lot of hype too. And so when it just doesn't meet up to that and you're acting like well, I guess it is a AAA game, but you know what I mean? You're asking for that AAA price. You're
Yeah.
just asking for it.
Interesting.
Yes. I don't have the trailer for this one, but there also is the Dead Space remake, which I heard good things about. I haven't had a chance to look at it, and I haven't myself played the original Dead Space. I've watched people play it, but that was also something that came out. This one, I haven't heard people talk about, but it felt, I don't know, it kind of gave me the
Sorry, which game is
uh
this?
oh sorry, this is Season A Letter to the Future. And it gave me Grease, I think is what it was called. So it's not the same play style per se as Grease, but like it just had the really beautiful visuals, and
Mm.
it seemed like a story that would really move you.
Mm.
Uh, it's an open world visual novel, and you play as a character leaving home for the first time on a bicycle to collect memories before a mysterious cataclysm washes everything away. I mean, as you can see, I think the art style looks
Beautiful.
really beautiful.
The
Yeah, the
colors are
colors are
just so
stunning.
vibrant. Yeah.
Mhm. Yes. So this is one I want to go back for, which is why I wanted to touch on it, even though
Mhm. Mhm.
I didn't see anybody play this, which I'm really shook by. Um yeah, it felt like it would be a moving story, like something that would stick with you, which is
Mhm.
why it gave me the kind of Grease. I think that's what that game was called. I don't know. One I wanted to touch on as well, because we're trying to add some variety, is a game called Wild Hearts, and this is a monster hunter
Fresh,
kind of game.
chaotic, and breathless. Is that what they called it?
Yes. So it's not the Monster Hunter series itself, but it is a game very much like that. And I did see actually a lot of people play this when it came out. Like I felt like this was one worth noting because I did see a ton of people play it, like a ton of streamers play it when it came out. I enjoyed the Monster Hunter games I've played. It's not necessarily the kind of game for me. Like I enjoy it to an
Mm.
extent, but it's not something I want to sink hours upon hours into, if that makes sense. So I just thought that was worth noting. Another big one I saw a ton of people playing was this one called Atomic Heart. And um when I heard it first described to me is that it's a very BioShock-esque kind of game. And
Mm.
I really loved BioShock
Mm.
like so much. Um I think the biggest hit to this game is you don't get to be a big daddy. My favorite thing in the BioShock series is the second one where you get to be a big daddy. Totally made it for me. But this looked very intriguing
Yeah.
to me. It's Russian.
Mhm.
Um like that kind of atmosphere and stuff and language. The thing coming out of your hand really freaks me out though. I don't know about that one. Things that are in your body that aren't supposed to be there, I don't like. I
Mhm.
don't like it. It freaks me out. But
Mhm.
I mean, the graphics looked really good.
Mhm.
Um,
A
I
lot
have
of
to.
blood.
I can't look at the hand. A lot of blood. I mean, yes, but it's the Bioshock where you have some horror, some puzzles, some mystery, some the FPS. You're obviously blasting and all of that, but
Right.
If it could give to me what BioShock did, I'd be in love. Obviously, I had to bring up Sons of the Forest. I don't know if I've
Yes.
talked about it on here, but I
Mm-hmm.
love the Forest. Probably my top 10 games. I played the first one of this when it first came out, and like through all of its iterations. And I mean, I loved it so much. I think
Have you played Sons of the
uh,
Forest? Have you gotten to
I've
that?
gotten halfway through it.
Okay.
I've gone halfway through it. Tragic. It so far, I think it's good. I think they really improved on a lot of things the Forest had. Like crafting, how you build. They have some really interesting new mechanics for.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not. I found this story or like the lore that they have interesting so far. I don't know how much it's going to add or change because this is way further along than when the Forest first came out. Like the
Right.
Forest as it came out to like when it finally was fully done, it, huge differences. So I don't know how much they're going to change. I know there's an ending
Hmm.
to it. So we'll see. I'm not fully convinced yet. I'm devastated that we don't get to play as Timmy, who was the son in the first Forest, because to canon he lived in. Spoiler alert! I should have spoiler alert that. To canon in the first Forest, he lived, he survived. So as Sons of the Forest, why would we not play as the son from the original Forest? I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's what we had predicted, right, in our
Yes, yes,
discussions previously.
yes. Did you ever play the Forest?
I
I actually have no idea if you.
haven't. We've talked about the two of us playing it, but I haven't gotten it because I'm not going to play it by myself. So either I
That's
have to
fair.
have my husband play with me or I'll play with you or something.
That's fair.
I need support.
I would play it again. Or if he wants to play too, I totally play it again. I think it's a great game. I think it brought something new to the survival genre when it,
Mm.
back when it came out, and I think it was good. This one I originally didn't have a trailer up for, but I suppose I could bring it up. Purple's Space Program 2. Now, I really know nothing about it at all or about the first one, but I'm pretty sure the people who loved it.
Mm.
And like we're highly anticipating the second one. It's a space flight simulation game, and so it's not like out. It launched its early access, and so I thought it was still worth noting. But
It's
like
so cute.
exactly, like look at that. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to just.
Angry little alien guys, and they look like Muppets.
Oh, they do. They do.
They've got just these enormous helmets. Okay, they're kind of like Muppet minions. They're like
Oh,
green
Muppet
little
Minions.
Muppet
Yes.
minions.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I love the Minions so much. I'm not sure if it's the kind. I don't know if how much they mean simulation or what they mean by like that. If it's a management game or how exactly it works.
Looks like you
But
build.
yeah,
So
yes,
so maybe you have to just like keep improving your spaceships until you can actually get out to space and then have to like
and
ferry
then go to different
stuff.
planets.
I'm just
Oh, go
trying to
ahead,
think of which Muppet.
Kermit.
I
Kermit's
mean,
the green
just
one. Is
because
that what
they're
you're thinking?
green, yeah, but I feel like there's
They
another.
remind me of Their faces kind of remind me of. He has such a small head though, so I don't know if this is quite accurate. But he has like the little small head and the red hair, but he doesn't. I don't think he talks. Or like he talks, but not English. Like I can picture him in my head. I don't know. He's got there's like YouTube video of him singing the Ode of Joy and like harmonizing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which one he is though.
I know. I just have to go through the list of Muppets. It'll come to me. Oh, like
Fully
Pepe
convinced.
the prawn. Is that what you mean?
Is it Pepe? Let me Google.
The one who's
Is
not a
it?
shrimp.
Yes, him. Yes, he sings. He does the Ode to Joy thing. He's like, "Meow, meow, 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 meow." Tell me I'm wrong. Is that not
No.
what you were kind of picturing with Minions?
Yeah, no, you're not wrong because I was scrolling through the list and I was like, Pepe, ooh, Pepe. And then it like clicked in that he doesn't, he has an accent.
I actually have no idea if he speaks English, but everything that I've seen him in
He does.
and like remember, he doesn't. So I don't.
He has kind of like a Cajun French
Oh,
accent.
okay.
It's kind of what he does.
Now I
Anyway.
feel like a menace. Isn't it? Oh no, he's not. He's who I'm picturing. That's not who did Ode to Joy. It's Beaker who did Ode to Joy. That's
Oh,
why.
Beaker. Yes,
I
yes, yes,
was
yes.
yes, Pepe's who I was picturing. But yeah, we don't have to listen to it. But Beaker is the one who does the Ode to Joy. Okay. Wo Long Fallen Dynasty. Another Souls-like game, but this one
Mhm.
is set in a dark fantasy version of China's Three Kingdoms period. I know it's supposed to like set itself apart from other Souls-like games by having a more breakneck combat speed, so like a lot faster, which was kind of an interesting to me because I felt like Dark Soul games did have fast combat because I mean everything is bigger and stronger than you and you're trying not to die to it and kill it as fast as possible without like one shot dying.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Souls like games are not my cup of tea. The thought of like bajillions of times trying to fight a boss just to kill it once just seems miserable to me.
Mike was telling me there's some sort of statistics for Elden Ring that talk about that more people have attempted to fight the final boss, or more people have died fighting the final boss than died fighting the first boss in the game.
Yikes.
So, like, more people were like making it all the way through the game and just like attempting more than whoever started, like, barely started the game, which I think is very funny.
I have nothing against those people who can do it. I respect it. I respect it. I just couldn't I can't do it, especially when it's a single player game and you're just being miserable by yourself. That sounds awful.
Well, and that's what happened with Elden Ring is that Mike enjoys it. He has a good time with it,
Yeah,
but he wanted to finish the game so that he could actually focus on what he actually enjoyed doing. So he
right.
just like ran straight through the storyline just so he could be like, I already finished it. And now he can just kind of ignore the story and the bosses and whatever and
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
go and pounce around the dungeons.
Oh, well, that's fair. I I think that was like I don't know, I'm trying to say a unique thing about Elden Ring though because like actual true Dark Soul games, I don't know if you can necessarily do that, can you? Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert in Dark Souls games, and I'm not going to pretend I'm not, so I'm just going to I mean, I'm not going to pretend I am. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend I'm not an expert. Anyways, Sunhaven. I've been streaming this game. This also came out early March. Obviously, Stardew Valley kind of game. It is set in a like a more medieval kind of time period, from my understanding. It's definitely more fantastical than Stardew. As you can see, you can be more than human. You can
Mm-hmm.
be
And there's
puppies,
more
kitties,
combat.
krakens. Yeah, it's very more RPG than
Mm.
Stardew. You don't even have to farm. I mean, technically in Stardew, you don't have to farm, but also like, let's be real, you kind of have to farm.
Yeah. There are a lot of achievements which launch into other things that will not launch if you do not grow a singular parsnip or whatever, whatever.
Yes.
But yeah, I see you
And
can be in love, and similar to Stardew, you have like town events.
yes, yes. Yeah. Yep. There's the love, the love interest and all of that, the
Mm-hmm.
family. I'm pretty sure you can have a child. I don't know for sure.
They have it on Switch. I feel like Switch would be the move for this one for me. I don't have Stardew on the Switch, but I feel like this one, I feel like that would be a good Switch game. Don't ask me
I
why.
don't know. I played it on the PC. I don't know. Maybe. I know a lot of people who like playing Stardew on the Switch because you can play it on the Switch, right? Am I
Mm-hmm.
crazy?
No, no, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
I don't know. I've been really enjoying it. I think the story is really interesting. There's dragons in it, so that just immediately bumps it up 5.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I find it a little more enjoyable than Stardew because there is more of the RPG, there's more story and lore. Well, it's not that Stardew lacked on lore, but the lore wasn't just like as easily accessible, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. Like there's tons of hidden stuff and Easter eggs and all of that. And I don't know, I feel like this has a lot of more readily available lore, and then you do have the story and actual progression and not just trying to do the community center to
Yeah.
progress further.
Yeah. I wouldn't
But
say
then
that
there is that kind of
lore
stuff.
was a
Go ahead.
Stardew priority.
Mhm.
That makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's fun that there's, other games out there that do really focus in on the story.
Yes. And that was a hard thing for me because that's stuff that really interests me and
Mm-hmm.
invigorates me and keeps me coming back to a game. I had a friend who played this. This is Deceive Inc. or Incorporated. It's a new multiplayer game.
Ooh.
Yes, yes. And my friend's husband played it and he posted it in our family. I'm not actually family in there. I'm a family from another family. The designated sister from another mister who's allowed in the family Discord about it. And I thought it looked interesting. You go undercover as the world's greatest spies. You can disguise as anyone, deploy an arsenal of high tech gadgets on or neutralize the competition. And I'm not entirely sure how it works. I think you go on like missions and you're trying to, grab whatever and get out alive. I assuming you're going against other players.
Other spies, it looks like.
Right, like other teams. I don't even know if you're okay, 3v3 team battles. Well, that answers that. 3v3, what an interesting number. I feel like you're either 2v2 or 4. 3 such a
Well, they probably had I mean, a good market for people having more than, four friends, three friends.
right. I suppose that's true. I'm wondering if you can like play with randoms though. Like you surely you can get random people on your team. Like it doesn't have to just be your friends.
That would be my guess.
Otherwise I guess you better start making friends. It looked I don't know. It looked interesting. I
Yeah.
don't know if I'll play it, but he recommended it. Oh, okay. Another one I had to bring up and I didn't get a thing was the long-awaited RE4 remake came out this past weekend, I think, or like last
Mm-hmm.
week, late
Mm-hmm.
last week. And I've actually heard such good things about it from people and that like it was really a good improvement on what the game was. And I'm actually so excited. I like the RE games. I haven't played all of them, but I've watched at the very least all of them. So I'm excited to play this one.
Yeah, Mike and I are really excited to play it because we've played through the entire Resident Evil series. We haven't played
Oh,
one,
cool.
but we've played all the
Okay.
other ones because as part of our date nights, we started out playing Resident Evil 8 when it came out, and then we did 7, and then we did 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So,
Oh, so you didn't play 0.
mm-mm.
That was an interesting one. It's a good one. It came out not right away, right? The first one came out, and then I think it was after maybe 2 they made this one, and this one is like before RE1
Oh.
or like what led to or something. I don't know. I started playing that. It's interesting. It's
Hmm.
definitely old Resident Evil, but it's good. They're all good. They're all good. I like all of them.
We liked the Resident Evil 2 remake, so we're excited to see
Right.
what 4 lead, how like what they change and how they adjust it, because
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't know, 4 didn't seem too like out of date for me,
Right. Yep.
and I feel like 8 had a lot of similarities to 4 where they it wasn't, the same plot. It was a very different
Right.
plot, but I really felt like they took what made Resident Evil 4 good and they
Mhm.
used those and applied those to this much bigger, wilder, different storyline. So I'm really interested
Mhm.
to see how they kind of say, oh, great. Okay, so this is what made 8 great. Now let's use some of the improved stuff and then put them back into the 4 story. I don't know. I'm
Right.
interested to see what they've done with it.
The next is Ravenbound, a new single player that takes place in a dangerous fantasy world inspired by Scandinavian folklore. That is all I needed to hear. Was the
Scandinavian
Scandinavian
folklore
folklore.
is the scariest folklore. I don't like there is everything about Scandinavian folklore is scary. I don't know. there
That's so funny. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I've just like I've never had I've never heard anything like that before. That I love that. Scandinavian. That's funny. That's funny. I I can see where you're saying that. I can see where you may be coming from. I
And
I love
I
that
mean,
for
it's
you.
dark so much of the time. It's dark and cold. And so they sit around fires, like coming up with all sorts of spooky tree creatures and scary creatures that are creeping around in the dark and eating people and whatever. Like, there's very few stories from Scandinavian folklore, like, other than like Loki or any of those other kind of mischiefy
The
pieces.
gods.
Right,
The gods.
right.
Okay.
Well, some of the gods are also spooky, but I
That's true.
mean, all of their monsters are like at a different level of just spine tingling versus, I don't know. Yeah, because they
I
use
just think
just so much of the
that's
environment for
right.
their and not necessarily just like animals around them.
Right.
I don't know.
I think that's funny because I think usually I hear like Asian folklore is really scary and like their movies they don't do horror like they do there. Japanese. Oof. But I definitely see what you're saying and I think like the ambiance of that kind of stuff is like what you're saying darker and
Hmm.
colder because I mean it's up north, it's way up north there. It's very much like it is here. So maybe that's why it's a little less
I feel like a
it's
lot
not
of
less scary, but like desensitized to me. Go ahead.
yeah, I feel like a lot of Asian horror is a lot of either like psychological
Mhm.
like ghosts, so it's a lot of like human on human
Mhm. Mhm.
fighting, or like ghost of a human or whatever. So it's a lot
Mhm.
of like, fighting against your psyche in a way, which is absolutely very, very scary.
Mhm.
But the Scandinavian just being like, look at this dark world around you while we spend so much of our time in like the dark and the gloom. And here are all the ways we have devised for it to kill you. like,
The Scandinavian folklore sets up your psyche to then be taken over by the Asian. I love that.
You look out and you're like, ooh, that's spooky. I'm going to stay inside. And then all of a sudden you start going, oh no, now I'm left with myself. Yeah. So it spirals you right down.
I love that. I love that. Well,
It looks very good. Ravensbound looks very
besides,
good. It looks very scary, but it looks good.
I don't even think it's listed under horror is the best part. It does say here, fear everything and nothing, for death brings you closer to victory in this challenging open world action roguelite.
It starts with fear
As,
everything, okay?
I know,
So
that's where I was like, wait a minute. I'm going to go back for it at some point. It hasn't come out yet, March 30th. I'm just going to go right on to the next one and pretend that we were never, ever worried for a second about Scandinavian folklore, because how could you be? When you have Minecraft Legends. Okay, now we're in April. Minecraft Legends. So I played Minecraft Dungeons back in 2020 when that came out. And it was something. It was an experience, for better, for worse. I I'm afraid to say too much because one, it was not necessarily my type of game, which is fine. So I don't want to be biased in that sense. But also, I played it with my abusive ex at the time. And so I also don't know if that tainted some of it. But this when I was watching the trailer and kind of what they were talking the gameplay is supposed to be like, it was reminding me of the Minecraft Dungeons. I think it's supposed to be an updated, upgraded version, like a different story and all of that, but that like an improvement
yeah.
on Minecraft Dungeons. And like they're trying to add story to Minecraft, but it's like I don't want to call it a dungeon crawler, but that's kind of yeah. It looks super pretty though. You got the little fairies. It's something. I think it's going to be something. For better or for worse, I think this is also going to be a game that's going to be something.
I mean, Minecraft is always so good at visuals, and just the look of everything is always going to be incredible.
True. That's true. From the gameplay, I think it looks better than Dungeons did. Like just like watching this gameplay right now, I think the visuals look better, like an improvement. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it plays.
Yeah.
I don't have a thing for this one, and I don't remember why, but Dead Island 2 is supposed to be coming out. It's been an 8-year-long development, but it is supposed to be coming out. So, oh, that's right. Dead Island's the zombie game, the zombie apocalypse experience. Co-op multiplayer. It's not like it's open world, so it's not like Back for Blood or Left 4 Dead or any of those. But it is a zombie game.
Interesting.
So I'd assume Dead Island 2 is, well, it is. It's also a zombie game.
Are you seeing a trend of zombie games in 2023?
Yes, because I think there's already been some zombie games and zombie survival games that have come out and stuff. So yeah, probably.
Definitely survival games, I feel like, is definitely a trend in games.
Yes, I would agree. The other one that's coming out in April that I apparently wrote down was Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order. So now in May, we have Redfall, which is one of the two highly anticipated Bethesda games. It's an open world vampire shooter. Oh, and that you can play with up to 3 friends. I don't even remember watching anything about it. I might not have. I might have just said this is too much for me. Town of Redfall is under siege by a legion of vampires who have cut the island off from the outside world. Trapped with a handful of survivors, slay alone or squad up in an open world FPS.
Okay, so co-op survival. Is that
yes
kind of where where we're all trending?
I suppose. It looks kind of like a more cartoony graphic of like Left 4 Dead and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, in that case, my husband will play it.
Tell me it's not giving you those kind of vibes, like you're doing the campaigns kind of
Yeah.
story where
Yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah.
going through each mission to get to the ultimate goal.
Mhm.
I can't remember if it was this one, but I think it was this one. Well, Starfield we'll get to is the other highly anticipated Bethesda games, but these were like I believe had huge amounts of like on Steam wish lists, if that
Mm.
makes sense. All right, moving on. I think to one of probably the most highly anticipated game of May, although I guess it's hard to say because of Redfall. Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, the sequel to Breath of the Wild. Um, there's nothing really like there's not a whole lot known about it except you get to be in the sky. I do know that.
Ooh.
There's sky stuff. And this the sequel.
Yeah.
But I think they did the same thing with Breath of the Wild where they kept a ton close to their chest until it came out. I assume it's also open world like Breath of the Wild. Which I actually really enjoyed about that. Having a
Mhm.
completely open world Zelda game was pretty crazy.
I mean, with that sort of franchise, you don't need to promote very much. You can just say, "Hey, this is coming out," and everyone's going to buy it. You don't need to like tempt them into it by coming up with good marketing.
Especially as the sequel, like
Yeah.
not a new Zelda game. Well, it is a new Zelda game, but you know what I mean? Like it's not a totally new
Hmm.
world or like, so and the Breath of the Wild was so I think loved and well received. So yeah, everyone's been waiting for this one. Um there's also the System Shock remake. I have nothing for this and I feel bad about it because System Shock was a game that really defined the first person action adventure genre, I think.
Mm.
And I know it was an inspiration for games like BioShock and I think even like Deus Ex and stuff like that.
Mm.
So that is also coming out in May. We have another Amnesia game, which I think personally is really exciting. I enjoyed the last one, Amnesia Rebirth. Well, I've enjoyed all of the Amnesia games, but I think the last one was kind of like a mixed bag for people, if I remember. Could be wrong on that. This one's going to be a first-person horror game set in a desolate World War One bunker. Face the oppressing terrorists stalking the dark corridors. Search for and use the tools and weapons at your disposal while keeping the lights on at all costs. Overcome fear, persevere, and make your way out alive.
Mm. So sequels,
Well, it's not a sequel per se because the Amnesia games aren't
right?
necessarily like
But like
direct.
franchise extenders.
Yes, franchise
Would you say that's
extenders.
another? Maybe that's
Huge
not.
thing this year.
Yeah. And I
I
don't.
think so.
I'm wondering if that's just like people not wanting to invest in something new, very or wanting to.
Well, part of it is COVID. We're finally getting like even still games that were delayed and delayed and delayed because of COVID.
Mhm.
From like the initial effects of COVID and the after last effects of COVID. Because there's quite a few games in here that were supposed to come out last year that didn't. And I think we talked a lot last year how there was a ton of games that were like, oh yeah, 2023, we want to
Mhm.
polish it up more. So I think that's part of it. And then like you probably already had games that were supposed to come out in this year anyways as franchise extenders, but then like you have all the other ones that got delayed.
Mm.
Because my next game is also literally a franchise extender. It's the it's the oh no, it's not. It's not. There's one more between it, but we can just say this one first. It's the Outlast Trials, which I mean, if even if you've never played it, how can you not know about Outlast or that
Mhm.
series? I mean, I remember when that first came out, like that was where people had started to become desensitized, I think, to some horror games. That was like a bone chiller. But this one is a multiplayer game. It is Outlast multiplayer. Uh you go through the trials, or you can go alone or in teams, and It said in the thing, if you survive long enough and complete the therapy, Murkoff will happily let you leave, but will you be the same?
Ooh.
So I don't know if that means that there is actually some story. When I watched the demo, I watched Don Wolf. I love him for horror. Play the demo. There seemed to actually be some kind of story to it. So there, I'm wondering if there is a definitive amount of trials to do. I don't know. If I think if I remember right, you play with up to 3 friends. I think you can go in as many as groups of 4.
So, like, kind of a multiple endings kind of thing where you can either escape or if you just last through all the trials or something? Or is there
Um,
no escape?
I don't think I would. I don't think I would say that. So okay, I'm trying to like I'm picturing the demo in my head. So you have obviously I don't know if the game is going to be this, but the demo seemed like the beginning of the game, right? So you start off alone, solo, and you like go through this intro and sorry, I smacked my mic and being introduced into why you're in the building you're in, and the building is like the funhouse of Dr. Murkoff. I think he's a doctor. He's a fake doctor, and he's running all these different experiments on people. And you're supposed to be one of them who's going to get experimented on. And I believe you do uh get experimented on.
Hmm.
And like you before you start your first trial, I think you've had something done to you. I think it's your eyes. Or before you even enter, I think they do something to
Ugh.
your eyes. I don't so you can see in the dark actually if I'm remembering right. I could be wrong. Anyways, and then you have like a home base. And I think you can kind of like craft and like upgrade and stuff in your home base or something like that. But you had like a home area, and that's where you could look through the missions available to you or like the trials available to you. And then I think you get rewards from the trials. But I think trials also progress the story because I think there is an
Mm.
overall story. And so then I think you, based off of how many or which trials you do or something like that, you could maybe escape. That was my understanding.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know. That's all I know. That's what I know. Okay. I have to reorder myself. Okay, the one in between. This one I went back and forth about adding, and then I decided I was gonna do it. It's called Atlas Fallen. Um the name, I don't know anything about it. I've never seen anything about it, but I heard the name and it made me think of the book series turned into a movie. Is it Atlas Side? No. Atlas. No, is it Atlas Fallen? No. I don't know. I'll come back to it. It'll come back to me. Atlas Shrugged. That's what I'm thinking about. It made me think about Atlas Shrugged. And so then I was curious and I had to look at it. It's a riot. Okay, what does it say? Rise from the dust and glide the sands of a timeless land filled with ancient dangers, mysteries, and fragments of the past. Hunt legendary monsters with powerful sand infused weapons and abilities and spectacular, superpowered combat. I thought the graphics looked really interesting and beautiful. We can't hear the trailer narration, unfortunate. That also was where I was like, oh, I kind of like this.
Hmm.
Sometimes I'm a freak. Sometimes a trailer narration just gets me for better or for worse.
Hey, if they do a good
Um,
job in marketing, then.
that's true. And it gave me Titan Quest vibes. I don't know if you know what Titan Quest is.
Mm-mm.
It's an older game. Okay, this was supposed to come out last year if I remember. Lord of the Rings, Gollum. I know we talked about it last year,
Mm-hmm.
and so I assume it was supposed to come out later. I think last year,
Mm-hmm.
and I, I was like, oh man, when I saw it, I totally forgotten about it. Now last year, I don't think we knew what Gollum looked like, and high key Gollum looking all kinds of freaky in this. like
Oh,
a,
as opposed to not like.
well, no, but like he does, but it just wasn't what I was expecting.
Because he's a little bit of
I
a
guess if
baby
that makes
golem.
sense. I think we knew he. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but when he suddenly turned around there when I first watched this trailer, I wasn't ready for it.
The
um,
rest of
I
this game
real
looks stunning.
yes, yes, the
The
I'm
characters
really hopeful for this
are
one.
very
Go ahead.
scary, but the rest of the visuals are beautiful.
I think this is so much more than even what we were able to see last year, and it looks so much better than I think even what we knew last year. Uh it's going to be story-driven action adventure. You get to take on a perilous journey as Gollum, chasing the only thing that is precious to him. Gollum is skillful and cunning, but also torn by his split personality. One mind, two egos, you decide. And I'm so excited. Like, I got even more excited after watching all of these trailers. And
Mm-hmm.
he's a character with a psyche that I've always thought was really fascinating and would be interesting to explore.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm getting
That
kind of
water
like Tomb
moment.
Raider,
Yeah,
like
parkoury.
mechanics vibes.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yes.
I'm excited. All right, we're gonna both play this, and we will both report back.
Another one that I've has written down and I have nothing else. Street Fighter 6. If I remember right, I do think this was also a game that was supposed to come out last year and didn't. I don't have anything up available for Diablo 4, but I am really excited for this. I probably talked about this before. I probably beaten the horse dead, but I did play the test play back in BlizzCon 2019, and this is something I've waited for. This and Overwatch 2. When we got those sneak peeks, I was like, dude, I can't wait. And I've never played a Diablo game before, and I've
Mm.
heard a lot of good things about them. So I'm excited. Uh, Director Luis Barriga, I feel like I said it all wrong, described as a gothic medieval and a bleak and shattered hellscape bereft of hope and beset by demons. From my understanding, the story is centered around Lilith, and that's mostly just what I know. The beta, actually, the open beta, if you pre ordered, was just this past weekend, and I unfortunately did not get a chance to play it because I had other things I had to do, which I'm really sad about. But yes, it looked, I think, like people were liking it and hopeful. So we'll see. We will see. Oh, I don't even have the Final Fantasy. Whatever. Whatever. You know, it's fine. Final Fantasy 16 is also coming out in June. However, this one is going to be a little different from the previous one, and it's going to trade the open world for a more area-based design, and you're going to be playing as Clive Rosfield through real-time, fast-paced combat, while companion characters are controlled by AI. I don't know
Hmm.
anything about the Final Fantasy series. Like, I've seen bits and pieces of people play it, but it's never been something I've gotten into.
I cannot believe they are on number 16, but yes.
I also think that too every time I see another one come out. I'm like, wait, there's more. That's so toxic. I'm sorry. Aliens Dark Descent. When I saw the name, I thought it was going to be a sequel to like Aliens Isolation or that kind of stuff. It's not,
Oh,
but it is in the Aliens universe.
I love Alien. That is my
I
favorite
do too.
horror movie. So I'm anytime there's Alien involved, like we have board games for Alien, like we love Alien.
I like Predator better than Alien.
Ooh.
Like, or like, I love the entire franchise as a whole. And I don't like, I'm not saying I think Predator is better than Alien. It's more of like I'm more attracted to Predators. Like when Predator versus Alien, when the Predators take when he takes in the lady and like marks her, he's like, "Yep, you can be a predator now." I was like, as a child, I was like, I wish that was me.
Okay. So my
Yes,
ranking is Alien, Alien versus Predator, Predator. And that's not like saying I dislike Predator. I'm just saying Alien versus Predator. I love that movie so
I do love
much.
that one too. I
It
do
is the
too.
wildest thing. And I just have a good time. So every time I watch a Predator movie, I'm always like, we're going to be friends with them. Where are the aliens? Like, I'm
Exactly.
just, the
Exactly. I'm
Predator.
like,
Yeah.
we'll be friends and F the aliens.
Yeah.
They're all so good. I mean, Sigourney Weaver, Arnold Schwarzenegger, you can't go wrong. Uh, to go back to the game, this is a squad-based single-player action game. Lead your soldiers in real time to stop a new and terrifying kind of xenomorph outbreak on Moonleith. Left, Leaf, and Gleaf. It's a RTS. I don't know. That's not really my cup of tea.
I'll try it
But
out and
maybe
let you
just
know.
I was gonna say
I'll
maybe
take
just for
that
aliens
one.
I'll try it.
I'll
But if you'll take the bullet, I
take
won't be
it.
upset. All right. You you come back to me and let
I'll
me
take
know how
it,
it goes.
or maybe Mike and I will play it for date night, and I'll have him play it.
Oh, I
Options.
like that. I think that is the
Okay, that's the move because I think he
I think
does.
that's the move.
I think he likes RTSs.
I wouldn't be surprised. Based off of what I know about Mike, I could definitely see him enjoying that type of game.
Yeah.
So be like, yo, babe, for June, I got you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This, I think, might be more up your alley. Maybe. I'm not trying to generalize you or anything. Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. Put down roots on your new farm in the peaceful town of Forgotten Valley. Bring life to the land by cultivating crops and raising animals. Find love among the town's friendly folk and make lasting memories with a family of your very own. I don't know if all Story of Seasons games are like this. I would assume so, but I know there's a bunch of them based off of when I typed this into Steam and a bajillion came up. It looked good. It looked interesting. It was
Yeah, I'd be interested to know what kind of sets it apart from some of the other games of this genre.
genre, yeah. I'd say graphics for one. Well,
Graphics are a
it's
little bit more Pokemon, yeah.
yeah. It was giving me those kind of vibes. Or a little bit of like Porsche
Mm-hmm.
too,
Mm-hmm.
kind of. I figured maybe one day you try this one and you let me know. As I have tried Sunhaven, like I felt like I took the bullet for Sunhaven.
Oh yeah, had to be
I took the
pushed,
bullet. It was really
shoved
hard.
all the way over there, dragged
I
kicking and
twisted my arm.
screaming.
Yes. So you got this one, Chief. I believe. All right. I'm over it. We're done. I had to include this one solely for the trailer. But also, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot. It looked like in July. The next half of the year, there isn't a whole lot of set things. There's a lot of like, what's supposed to come out this year?
Mm.
So we're into July. Pikmin 4. The extent of me knowing who Pikmin is that he's a character I'm pretty sure you can play in Super Smash Bros.
Mm.
When you see it, I think you'll recognize, but at least I hope that's what this is. Wait, am I thinking about? No, I think it is. I don't know. Most of what I know is it's the first home console Pikmin game in a decade. It's a Switch game. It's Nintendo.
So
It's
I
that universe.
I
Go
know
for it.
that there was like a phone app game, kind of not similar to Pokemon Go, but similar where you walk around and you like collect Pikmin, little sprout guys,
Oh,
and like can plant flowers as you walk around. So it was definitely like a walk
oh,
around and kind of interact with your environment in a way.
mm-hmm.
So that was really my introduction to Pikmin. I'm very excited because they have a dog. If you watch the trailer, they've got this very cute dog that
He looks like he becomes one of your friends too. Oh, he's like your
mm-hmm,
mount. You get to ride him.
and he looks like a bee, but he's a
He
dog.
does kind of look like a
And
bee.
he's so cute.
He's chonky.
And I believe that from what Mike was telling me, that's new for the Pikmin games.
The dog.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, okay. Something fresh and exciting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This one, I don't even know where I found this. Which of the things I saw as a list of what was coming in July, and I have no idea what it is. I've never heard of Disney Illusion Island. Because I think this is another game. Like I think they've done this before. I don't know. It's a Switch game. You can play with up to 3 friends, and you can be Mickey, Minnie, Donald, or Goofy. When they showed the gameplay in a second, it gave me kind of like Ori vibes, like that kind of game
Oh,
style. Here we go.
oh, I
Tell me I'm
see.
wrong.
A lot of
Yes.
platform jumping and Interesting. I'm shocked that they're
but
putting out a new
whimsical.
game after doing Dreamlight Valley so recently.
Well, I think they're like different companies all within probably Disney, like, you know what I
Yeah, yeah,
mean?
yeah. I mean, it's
Because
definitely
this
different
is
teams. It's
Switch.
mm. Can you not do
This
Disney
isn't.
Dreamlight Valley on the Switch?
I think you can, but I think it was like a hard focus PC game.
That's true because it is
But I
so
could be
open
wrong.
world. But I feel like anyway, Mike had never heard of Disney Dreamlight Valley until like 2 days ago
That's tragic.
when he saw that my sister was playing it. It like showed up on his little Steam of like, and he was so excited because he was just like, "Oh, Lauren, did you know there's a game called Disney Dreamlight Valley?" And I was like, "Yeah, honey, where have you been?"
I don't live under a rock, so yes, I do.
It just cracked me up. I was like, "What do you mean?"
What do you mean by that? I love that. All right, are we ready to move on to August?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm so ashamed that I didn't know this was a thing coming in August. Apparently, they're making a Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. I think it's supposed to be like DVD kind of thing.
Yeah.
The description was 4 victims attempt to escape from the 3 members of the family: Leatherface, the hitchhiker, and the cook.
So the trailer kind of looks like kind of
DVD.
Dead by Daylight
Yeah,
plus
sorry.
Resident Evil 7 where they're like in the house fighting off the family and are just in a lot of enclosed little spaces and have to hide and whatever.
Well, I was just saying Dead by Daylight in the sense of like that style of gameplay,
Right.
right? The 4 survivors, the 1 killer
Mm-hmm.
trying to hide, and um I mean the other style of games like that, you're not necessarily starting generators like in Dead by Daylight, but like you're trying to do one objective to get out before
Right.
you're taken out. All right, next. We go from super dark to this one, Sea of Stars. It's a turn-based RPG inspired by the classics. It tells the story of 2 children of the solstice who will combine the powers of the sun and moon to perform eclipse magic, the only force capable of fending off the monstrous creations of the evil alchemist known as the Fleshmancer.
Mm.
Super cute pixel graphics,
Yeah.
though.
Art style. Is this the same company that does Octopath Traveler? Because it looks similar. Like the graphics.
Sabotage Studio.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I just thought it was super cute, and I might actually play it. I at first was just I saw the names and I had C in it, and I was like, "Oh, the C, you say?
Oh.
Let me just take a gander. Do I get to be a pirate? A space pirate? No, but
Ooh, first launch is a project on Kickstarter.
oh, I love that. There's also a dragon. I saw that too, and I was like,
A
"Whoa, say
dragon,
what?"
Sea of in the title. Yeah, I mean, this is
I
designed for
need
you.
need I say more? And look, you do get to be on the ship. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. War Hospital. Be the ray of hope among the darkness of war. Manage a British World War I field hospital in a 3D isometric RTS where you lead the medical corps instead of soldiers. Fight for life, soul, and humanity in a world that rejected them in a unique society survival game.
Hmm.
I don't really know how much of like management games you kind of play, but
I like management games. I don't like war games.
well, it's war and management all in one, except you're not fighting the war.
You're trying
I
to
mean, you
save
are, but not
lives.
like the war. You're fighting the war to save lives. Yes. Starfield, September. The only game I have written down for September. This is also one of the most anticipated Bethesda games. We did talk about this last year because I think it was supposed to come out last
Sure
year.
was.
It was, and the guy had described it as Skyrim in space. And I remember saying that because I knew Sweetie liked Skyrim, or Lauren liked Skyrim as much as I like Skyrim.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be
There
a
is supposed to be.
Starfield streamer for like a month and a half solid.
I believe it. I believe it because there's a lot. So I don't have the story of it written down. I have more of like what we know about it now. There is supposed to be like a deeper character creator,
Hmm.
more so than Skyrim at the very least, I think. And you're going to be sent out into the many worlds where there are factions to join, companion characters to recruit, and quests to complete. It's supposed to be Bethesda's biggest game yet, with over 1,000 planets to explore and a main quest line that runs roughly 20% longer than any previous one of their games.
Jeez.
I am. I wasn't this way last year, but this year I'm a little hesitant to have my hopes
Hmm.
so high for it with how games have been lately and stuff. And I don't know.
Do you
I'm excited though because I really love Skyrim.
Are we
Go
making a
ahead.
prediction that it will come out in September?
Oh, I think it will. I think it will actually for sure come out this year.
Okay.
September 6th is when it's supposed to come out. Um,
Okay.
I think there's way more out about it now than there was back when I
Yeah.
first talked about it. So I think so.
Okay. Cool.
I'm just not sure if I should be as hopeful for it. I don't know. It looks so beautiful though. And if it gives any of the Skyrim kind of vibes, like you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Ah, I'll be so excited.
Yeah. I'll just be excited to, like, truly, no matter how it is, it's going to be fun. Like, even if it's
Hmm.
not like fully up to like all that they're promising, like, it's still going to be fun to play. And yeah, it'll be fun.
The 1,000 Worlds gives me the No Man's Sky vibes. So
It's
that's also
exactly
where
what I was thinking.
I read that and I was like, ooh, do you know how big of a promise that is? Because
Right.
we can show you what's happened in the past.
Like, 1,000 worlds feels too many, you know?
How can you really have 1,000 unique worlds? Like, you
And
know what I
like,
mean? Where
to
you've
build them
put love into each and
out,
every one of them.
to
Hmm.
absolutely to put love in each one of them. Yeah. Fully agree what you just
Yeah.
said.
I just think it's so unrealistic that you could fully flesh out that many worlds. Like, you'd have to have so many people on staff. And even then, I just,
Well, and I'm not going to be able
I
to
don't know.
visit 1,000 worlds, you know? Like,
You said
so
you're becoming a Starfield streamer.
I
You
know.
have your whole life now to do that.
I know. Man, am I going to have to visit 1,000 worlds? Am I going to do it? Okay.
I don't think you're actually going to have to do that. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be real with you. I think you're going to be okay.
Hey, they said the storyline's going to be 20% longer than any other game they've done.
No, that they've done. Yeah, that they've done. But so, I mean, if they're thinking, like, if we're talking main story, right?
Hmm.
Skyrim was what, 50 hours, 60 hours,
Hmm.
probably. So I'm thinking we're saying main story is gonna take 100 hours. That's where I'm gonna guess like 80 to 100 hours. We'll see. That's a that's a tall order. I think
Yeah.
that's a lot of. That makes me be like, is it really that long, or did they add fluff? Is there busy work? Is there obnoxious stuff to make it
How
be
long
like
does
that?
it take you to fly from world to world?
2 hours real time. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay, stop. We have to keep going. I still have way too many tabs, and we have like 15 minutes to 10 o'clock. It's stressing me out. All right, October, I only had one for as well. We had no anime games yet, like real anime games, and I was like, well, we had Final Fantasy, but I don't know if you want to say that's anime. Anyways, whatever. We went there. The fully Sword Art Online Last Recollection. We went full anime. Enjoy seamless, action-packed real-time battles using a combination of sword skills, sacred arts, and your favorite Sword Art Online characters. All right, November, the only game I had for this. The day before, this game is set in a zombie-filled post-pandemic America. It's supposed to make survival gameplay with in-depth combat and Animal Crossing inspired base building. How they get that in there, I don't know. But hold on,
With
before you get there.
Animal Crossing inspired base building
I don't know.
in a
Let me just
zombie survival game
I
that
have
looks
no
more
idea
like
what that meant.
Fallout.
Because what kind of base building do we do in Animal Crossing? Like that's where I was like, what?
Well, I mean, I can understand the like, putting together your island and making it really like designed and pretty, but like, I don't know if I would compare. I'm that's um fascinating.
Yeah.
I I feel like there are plenty of other games that allow you to base build and, like I said, Fallout, like you can do a lot of customizable things in a lot of different games. So fascinated by the Animal Crossing comparison.
I I have no idea. I have no idea. This is what I do know. Okay. If we ignore that part, I think this is a game that's kind of in my I said wheelhouse earlier. Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
Uh
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm always looking for a good survival game. I love zombies in my survival game. I'll never say no to that. Um it gives me Daisy miscreated that kind of stuff, kind of vibes,
Mm-hmm.
especially yeah, like huge Daisy vibes. Um especially for like the looting system and all of that. Moving on. We have to keep going. There's no time to dally. Not even for this. All right. These are ones that don't have I have nothing for December. These don't have a specific date, but they had to be talked about. Hollow Knight Silk Song, the sequel to one of the best Metroidvania games of all time. Personal opinion. You get to play as the enemy turned ally Hornet in. It's a PH, so I'm going to assume Farloom. A mysterious world far from the kingdom of the original game. All right, this is embarrassing. I've never played Hollow Knight. I keep meaning to. It's on my list of something that's going to get to. I watched it. I
It's
just saying.
so beautiful.
It
Yeah,
is.
I
It is.
haven't played it either. I know it's really hard. So
Yes. That is
I'm
something
trying to
where I'm
get my
like,
life together.
I know I have to be in the right state of mind to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Skull and Bones is got it has gone through many iterations, but it's supposed to be an open sea adventure without a structured campaign. This is from the Assassin's Creed, just so you know.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yes. Players captain customizable pirate ships on which they can take on contracts, gather resources, and do battle with merchants or other players. Um, this came after Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Was that the pirate one? I
Mm-hmm.
think, or like this is where that came from and like wanting to have that. The Expanse, a telltale series, a choice, as they all are, a choice based narrative adventure. However, this one is set in the world of the acclaimed TV series The Expanse. I've watched this when this first came out. This is a very beloved series of my dad. Super good sci fi series. Would recommend if you love sci fi. You're supposed to play as EXO. I think it's I should know this because she's in the show too. Kamina, drummer,
Kamina, yeah.
amidst a mutiny aboard the Artemis spaceship. It looks really good. I think they've done really good with The Walking Dead, so I'm not too worried about this. I think it'll be good. Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake, I think, was a very, really popular game. I've heard a lot about it. I've had tons of recommendations to play it and to stream it. This is supposed to be Remedy's first survival horror game. Lead writer Sam Lake said to expect a psychological layered, deep mystery to dive into. The next one to talk about is Arc 2. We just have to bring it up because the Vin Diesel is in it. Anyways, that's
Vin
supposed to also.
Diesel is in it?
Yeah, so this builds on the survival gameplay from Arc. What I was reading, they said was Souls like third person melee combat. don't know what they. I don't know. Uh, and it has so Ark doesn't really have a story. It has all the different maps and stuff you can play through, but this one has an expanded story led by the man himself, Vin Diesel. Um, there will be mobility improvements from the last one with the ability to mantle, free climb, slide, and swing. Look, I'm not. Look, I
It's
wasn't
very
joking.
Vin Diesel.
No, it is Vin Diesel. It actually is as a cartoon in the game.
Huh.
And like actually him too, like not him just saying yes, but like him. I think he's been, from my understanding, working closely with the project. Had to bring that one up. Had to
Okay.
bring it in. Assassin's Creed Mirage, so another Assassin's Creed. They will be removing the RPG, or in this one, they're going to be moving the RPG elements introduced in the more modern Assassin's Creed games and are returning
Hmm.
back to the Series 3 original design pillars, stealth, parkour, and assassinations. The story is set in the 9th century Baghdad, which is 20 years before the events in Valhalla, which was the last
Interesting.
Assassin's Creed. Okay, this was also talked about in our last one, and I think we had also acknowledged that it might not come out. So, Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. Bless this game. Honest to God, bless this game. It has had a long road. It's been canceled, re revealed, delayed twice, but now 13 years later, it is hopefully finally here. It was supposed to come out last year. However, when Russia began invading Ukraine, many of the development team left to join the Ukrainian Defense Forces. The rest, I don't remember, but they had been moved. They'd been evacuated out of Ukraine and moved. So you had like half the
Mm-hmm.
team still trying to work on stuff. Maybe not exactly half, but you know what I mean. And half was helping with this, or with, defending Ukraine and stuff. It's supposed to be a unique blend of FPS, immersive sim, and horror. I'm really
Hmm.
excited for it. I really hope it does well. I'm going to play it. Unsure when it comes out, though. So, keeping it on the list, keeping it on the radar. The Wolf Among Us 2 was supposed to come out this year. In the moment when I was writing this, and then, like, I found an article, like, a super recent within a couple of days that was like, nope, it's getting delayed to 2024. So,
Nice.
sad. Sad times. This.
That gives me time to play the first one because I've started it and I haven't made it very
Yes,
far. So I gotta
same.
finish that up.
You have time though. You have at least a year. So I'm going to be doing that too. I saw this. I saw this. You probably have no idea what it is. And
Nope.
I cried. I cried. They are making a remake of Lollipop Chainsaw. I have the trailer for the first game. I can't. This game is something. This game is something else. That's all I have to say. Just you wait.
Okay, so it's a WB cartoon where a cheerleader
And
has a chainsaw
zombies. Yes.
fighting zombies, and it's very cartoony and ridiculous.
And the best part, you have your boyfriend's chopped off head around your waist the whole time because we're pretty much right at the beginning. You cut his head off because he's turned into a zombie. Or actually someone else might have cut it off. I don't really remember. All I know is I loved this so much when I was younger.
Wow.
Yes. Oh, so good. It's quite something. So for the remake, it's a mix of new staff and old staff. They
Mm-hmm.
but they're hoping to bring the cult classic out of limbo and make it so people can play again. They aim to have a more realistic approach to graphics, and there will be a mix of new and old music.
I don't want realistic graphics. It was perfect.
Well, no, like okay. So I saw they had just released what I think her name was Juliet is gonna look like,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't. As you can see, I had been Googling it. Like, it wasn't anything crazy. It just a little more smoothed over. Did they show it? I don't remember where I saw it. I don't even know if that was it. All I know is I remember when I looked at it, it didn't look too drastic. But
Okay.
cheerleader zombie fighter with a chainsaw. Need I say more? Do you need anything else?
I sure don't. Other than she like loves rainbows and hearts and is just like a girly girl.
She
And then
is.
so it's a little like Harley Quinn
Yeah,
feels where
yeah.
she's just like very girly and cutesy and whatever, but also is just like hee hee murder. Like
You're dead now.
yeah.
it it was making me like thinking about it again. I was thinking about it might have been the second Harley Quinn movie or the Harley Quinn Birds of Prey or something like
Hmm
that.
hmm
And you like see her thoughts and how like you get the like cartoon and the weird colors and you're like, oh, okay. That's what
Yeah.
it was. I don't know. I love this game and it felt so embarrassing that this became my maybe most excited game of the year, even though I'm so excited for all these other games that I might be able to replay this again. Was like, oh, I get to be a cheerleader and cut zombies again. Let's go. Lords of the Fallen, an all new dark fantasy action RPG. As one of the Souls like, if you didn't notice. As one of the fabled Dark Crusaders, embark on an epic quest to overthrow Adir the demon god. Um, yeah, another Souls like game, but the trailer intrigued me, and it is supposedly co op. I think it looked more co op than any other kind of Souls like game I'd see before, but I'm
Yeah,
not sure to the
interesting.
extent of it because I feel like those games are typically not meant for co op.
I
Well,
mean, Elden Ring
excluding
is
Elden
co-op, of
Ring.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
excluding that. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it's quite. I don't know. I'm not sure. Unsure. It doesn't have a set date, so it looks good. Graphics look good. It looks clean. If you like that kind of stuff. And the last one, Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals. I super loved the first one. So I love that they're getting a second one. This is set to take place 5 years after the events of Oxenfree. Riley returns to her hometown of Kamina, I think, to investigate mysterious radio signals. What she finds is more than what she bargained for.
I have Oxenfree. I have not played it, so I
Would
gotta.
recommend.
Yeah.
Would recommend. It was a great game. It was unique, I think. It was a unique game, a unique experience. So it'll be interesting to see what the second one brings.
Mm-hmm.
Um this isn't even like a drop in the ocean of how many games are coming out in 2023. This was as condensed as I could make it with I tried to go for a wider range of games, but games that maybe I don't know. I did my best. That's what I get. This is your moment. You want to do the spotlight?
I do. I do.
Okay,
So
okay.
we mentioned in the last episode that we were going to start doing some spotlights on female game developers or other just women in the industry. And we mentioned Kim Swift. So Kim Swift is an American video game designer. She is best known for her work at Valve with Portal. She also worked on Left 4 Dead, among a variety of other games. And she was listed as one of the 30 under 30 influential figures in the video game industry. Basically, when she was in college, and she went to college at a like technical, kind of very gaming, technical IT college that's actually right in my backyard, basically. So I was excited about that. But when she was still in college, she and a couple of her classmates created a puzzle game, which they called Narb- Narbacular Drop, and they showed it off to Valve, and which is based out of Seattle, and were offered jobs basically because Valve was like, "This is very very cool," and so she led the team that turned that game into Portal, and has obviously she was very instrumental in developing Portal 2, and Portal is one of the 14 games selected by the Museum of Modern Art for inclusion in their permanent collection.
Oh.
Mental Floss described her as one of the most recognized women in the industry. Wired called her an artist that will push the medium forward. Um, she has joined a variety of different big companies. You know, she joined Amazon in 2014, where she was a senior designer. We're not sure what she was working on. It's like a big secret, but she was there for a while and then joined EA to work on Star Wars Battlefront 2. She hosted the
Ooh.
20th Game Developers Choice Awards ceremony in 2020. She is currently with Xbox Game Studios, where she's the senior director of cloud gaming. As we mentioned in the last episode, one of her famous quotes is, "I work on toys. Don't take that away from me. I like that I make toys." So she very much is, she appreciates the art in games, but she's really focused on like the fun, which is, coming up with Portal, where it's all about creating that jump between space. And there is a story involved, but also you're just really just testing boundaries. And so a couple other quotes are, "Players are going to want to go toward the light as opposed to the dark. That's hardwired into us as human beings because we don't want to get eaten by the bad thing in the dark." Yes, Scandinavian folklore. "And so we're going to where it's light out and we can see." And so just taking advantage of the fact that we're animals, basically, and manipulating that kind of behind the scenes to get players to go where you want them to. It's actually kind of a fun game to play. And so she just enjoys the kind of psychology behind creating the puzzles.
Mhm.
Another quote is, "You get a really good endorphin rush from the satisfaction of feeling smart. Like, I had this problem and I'm going to solve it." And I think that's almost with everything. You have a problem in front of you, and if you can solve it and figure it out, it just makes you feel really smart and really clever. After people play our game, I want them to feel clever. So I think that mentality is just so interesting and exciting, and it's why she has risen so far so fast, is because of that sense of like play and interest and willing to figure out ways to push the boundaries or to explore more and test and excite the player.
When I
That's Kim
was
Swift.
when I was in engineering, the teachers I had that had that kind of mentality always inspired me to do more, to reach for more, and to go, you know, to do
Mm-hmm.
more, to go beyond what I thought I could do. And like I loved Portal so much. Portal and Portal 2. Incredible games, very unique. As much as I feel like there's been some games that try to mimic it, they just can't. Like it
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. I feel like it could be its own genre. It's its own thing. And yeah, I think she's really inspiring and that's awesome. I love those quotes that you pulled. Any other thoughts
Yep.
about the games? I'm sorry it was rushed. I just know we tried to I don't know. There was so much I wanted to talk about. I'm glad we got to cover through all of them, even if some were more rushed than others. I feel like we have a lot of big hits, a lot of good games coming out this year. I'm actually really hopeful for games of 2023. I kind of feel like last year was a bit of a dud, to be honest. Maybe not a dud, but I just feel like there's a lot of games that dropped the ball, maybe. So I'm
And
hopeful
I
for
do
this
think
year.
that is like because 2020 and 2021 were what they were.
Yeah,
And
agreed.
so it's likely that less work got done as companies, laid people off or
Hmm.
tried to adjust with having people working from home and tried to, restructure what was going on. And people were moving teams or moving companies. And so the stability was not great, which it doesn't
Yes.
surprise me that they were not as um, functional or capable as they otherwise might have been.
Hmm. Yeah, pandemic is something else. It it'll be interesting to see where we are in a few years. Like this is just
Mm-hmm.
yes. Shout out again to you, Kim Swift. Keep doing what you're doing. keep being something for us women to look up to, especially us women in the gaming industry. It's not always it's not always easy out here, especially as a female who plays FPS games with my friends, and like some of the shit you deal with. Pardon my language, but there's no other word for it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope we touched on some games that maybe you would be interested in and want to check out. Maybe we brought some games to your attention that you might not have heard about otherwise and want to check out. Um yes. You can find me at nenyaadamas on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. You can find Lauren at sweetie_patat on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Uh, Maybe not next episode, but hopefully soon we'll be bringing back the tea party. So if you have any tea, local, or whatever to share with us, you can email us at nosidequests@gmail.com. And
Tea and or your favorite side quest from games that you love.
yes. And don't be afraid to share like what games you're looking forward to, or if there's games that we missed. And yeah, hope you guys have a good one. We'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.